Good morning. Ira Epstein with your morning flash update, and this update is for the morning of Thursday, the 5th of June, 2025. We're about 8:15 a.m. Central Time. The stock market up a bit. Look at the silver market. It's on a tear to the upside. So what's happening now is silver is realigning, in my opinion, itself to gold. It's vastly underpriced in terms of the ratio. Historically, you don't run a ratio near 100 ounces of silver to gold. So this is probably now beginning its catch-up phase. It's looking at copper up 15 cents today. It's looking at what's happening here. And there's so much news to digest. I'll get to that in a minute. There's some warmer weather in the forecast for next week. That is causing the rally, in my opinion, in the nat gas. We haven't had this warm weather yet. Let's see if that comes in. You can see the bonds and notes. Well, the back end is losing some yield, and the front end's gaining a little bit. It's a little bit of a weird situation there today. Grain markets just sort of drifting along right here, but corn and wheat higher, beans still under some selling pressure. Now, let's go to the day's news and we'll come right back here. Challenger Gray employer plan cuts came in lower at 93,816 versus last month's 105,441. The first quarter revised non-farm productivity and unit labor costs came in this morning, and the productivity was down 1.5%. They expected it only down 0.8, so it's double what the market expected. That isn't good. The revised non-farm labor costs at the same time went up 6.6%. They were only looking for it at 5.7, unchanged from the prelim. These are backward, yet the market is rallying on it. Jobless claims came in at 8,000, up 242. Whereas the continuing fell 3,000, not enough to move the market there. The trade balance, what we're seeing now is the impact of everybody, if you'll recall, front-running their orders, getting them in. Nobody knew what was going on in the tariff situation, and that helped drive it down to 61.62 billion, 5 billion lower than the estimate. Then the European Central Bank just cut its interest rate by 25 basis points as expected. But what's got the market's attention right now is newswire broadcasts that out of China that President Xi and President Trump did have their conversation. We don't know the results of it, so the market is anticipating something bullish. I think that is behind the rally in the copper market. I think that is why silver in part is moving up. In other words, the market, and by the way, the stock market, because the market is saying maybe there's a way to temper this, get the rare earths going again, take away some of the pressure on China, and get these two leaders of the world's two largest economies talking again and getting a little bit more reasonable. Let's see if that is the case. I can't tell you that's what happened. What I can tell you is the dollar is getting weaker again. The euro stronger off the news of the rate cuts, what is going on. Ms. Lagarde also has inflation falling there. And as she said, what they did not take into account was that 17% of their exports are with the United States. How is that going to be impacted? They can't judge what they don't know. They know that they've got a tax right now of 20%, and the 10% that's going to say in the tariffs. Is it going to move to 50%? They don't know. Is it going to go away and just stay at the 10%? There's too much unknown. So she said the bank is very attentive to it. They'll address things as they come. Now, this is all going to impact everything. So next up for me this morning, I'll be doing my morning Spider ETF video. I think I had a really interesting video this morning on the futures. And if you were watching it, good stop that we put in on the nat gas. I had been looking for the decline, got it, and walked away from that trade, and I'm happy with that. Now the question is, with all that's going on, the talks and so on, what's going to happen in these spider ETFs, because they look at the futures markets in a big way. To find out that and to watch what I do, go to iraepstein.com under the word research sign up right there. And that's where I actually say, I want you to buy here. I want you to sell there. Here's your stop. And I track each and every trade recommendation that I make until you're out of that trade. I don't publish a year-end record, not interested in that. I'm as good as my last trades, and that's where it's at. And number two, I'm not interested in managing anyone's money. I'm interested in throwing out advice that I see off the charts. You do with it as you wish. IraEpstein.com. Our icons are up here. Give those a click as well, and that'll take you right there. You have yourself a great trading day. I'll see you at the end of the day with the market wrap-up. Take care.